Recently, Brendan Schaub had a pretty interesting take on UFC 300. He is calling it his UFC 300 conspiracy of who he thinks might be um, participating in UFC 300, with there needing to be big names involved with this card. And I'll show you this little clip where he goes over it.
I got a little conspiracy. If you look at the lay of the land, most of the big dogs are taken before that UFC 300. And I have no inside sources. I didn't source check anything with this, but if it's just what it appears, what I think this could line up, I think UFC 300, you're going to get Connor Chandler and you're going to get GSP Diaz. Nick Diaz. Oh, we got you guys, huh? That one woke you up, huh? And here's my only assumption with that. If you notice lately, GSP's posted a hell of a lot more. When guys retire, they're usually not that active on social media. He's posting way more content. He's in phenomenal shape. He's supposed to grapple on December 15th. They pulled him from that card. He's just commentating on it now. I have no reason to think this, no reason besides just adding up the clues here. But there's going to be some big names. That's why the GSP thing makes sense to me.
So I do totally agree with the Michael Chandler uh Conor McGregor fight. I do think that that is a fight that really does have the potential to happen on UFC 300. It would be a little bit crazy to kind of see a UFC 300 card without one of the biggest superstars of the UFC and Conor McGregor being a part of it. Maybe even a Conor McGregor Dustin Poirier. I don't know. But I definitely do think Conor is somebody that should be a part of UFC 300. Now, the Diaz GSP, that's where it's a little bit iffy. It would be an awesome and amazing fight to see. I would want to see it. But I do know there has been in the past with GSP a little bit of an issue in regards to maybe contracts and whatnot. And GSP wanted to do like a one off fight, like how he did. Maybe it wasn't meaning to be that way with I know that after that fight with Michael Bisping, GSP had a lot of issues with his stomach and he just wasn't to the health that he wanted to be able to fight, and maybe that is exactly why all that went down the way it did. But I don't know, maybe there can be a deal that is made with that. I mean, if that fight could be a part of UFC 300, I think that brings a ton of eyeballs to UFC 300 just with that fight alone. Not even whatever other fights get included into that. Obviously, that'll make it even more so, especially if there's even other fights that get included to that card that are big names, big fights that people want to see. Maybe Brennan, though, has a little bit of insight somewhere. Maybe he knows something that he's not letting people know. And again, he did call it a conspiracy, so maybe this is just him like, this would be crazy if this happens. I could see this happening. Maybe there's like in his mind, it's only like a 5-10% chance of it happening, but it's definitely a claim too that's going to get some, again, some news headlines, some attention. It's going to get people talking. What if this happens? How crazy would it be? And it definitely would be crazy. Like I said, if it happened, I'm definitely watching UFC 300. I'm probably going to be watching UFC 300 either way, but with that being, if that, I'm maybe trying to go to UFC 300 if that fight gets made. Trying to be there live in person if that is a fight that's on the card. But again, maybe Brennan knows a little bit something that maybe some other people don't. Time will tell. We'll see as we get a little bit closer once we get into this new year. I'm sure more of the fights for UFC 300 will start getting released, and we'll see how this pans out. We'll see how this video, this conspiracy, this comment that Brendan made, we'll see how it ages. See if he's spot on with his take. But let me know what you guys think. Would you guys want to see a GSP Nick Diaz fight? What other fights would you want to see on the card? Let me know down below.